So the other day, I noticed that our Redis instance was holding steady at about 14 million keys and 7 gigabytes worth of memory. And this was over the span of months, and it made me very suspicious that there's something going on in the Redis key store, specifically probably around TTLs or time to live. So what I created was a small key scanner utility here in Lucee CFML so that I could quickly plug into a host, like this one, my local host, and start to iterate over the list of keys in the key space so that I could start spot checking things and see if there are any patterns that I would notice. So you can see here on the left, it iterates over 100 keys at a time, and when I click on a key, I get the details here on the right, the key that I'm on in case I want to jump to a different key explicitly, the type of key, the TTL, and this is really what I'm looking for here, and then the payload so I can get some sort of idea of what is actually being stored. So for example, if I jump to a value here, you can see that there is no TTL, and it will warn me that this key will be here forever, or essentially until the Redis instance is restarted, which is basically forever. And I can paginate here, and so essentially it's just using the scan operator to scan over the entire key space of the Redis instance. You can see that I can use the pattern matching here to loop over keys of a particular type, and it will pick up the various values here, whether they're sets or hashes, or let's see what else we got here, strings, sets. I think there's ordered sets in here as well. Anyway, we can take a quick look at how it works. Basically, under the hood, it's powered by this one ColdFusion component, scanner.cfc, which just exposes a configure method, which is when you point it at a host, but then the two sort of workforce methods are scan, which takes the cursor and the pattern, and essentially it's just doing a scan under the hood, returns the cursor, offset, and the keys, and those are the values that get listed here along the left, right? And you'll see as can I mouse over them? That's not really, oh sorry, this was the one. You can see here in the URL at the bottom that when I do that, it's changing the scan cursor to 130, scan cursor is 126, scan cursor is 29. So essentially, that page is just calling this method with a new cursor offset. And then to click on something and view the details here, all it's doing is calling this inspect, which returns the key, the type of data structure, the TTL if it exists, and the value if the key exists. But you can see, like, if I add not exists here and I try to go to it, it will tell me that that key doesn't exist. So I'm sure there are plenty of Redis GUIs out there, much more professional, much more diverse, but this was something that just allowed me to quickly iterate through the keys in our Redis instance, take a look at them, figure out why they're there, figure out if the TTL or lack of TTL is the reason for the ongoing growth of the Redis instance, and once I figure out what those keys are, I can then go backwards into the application, figure out where they're being created, track down the people who created that code, and let's start a conversation about whether or not those should be there, whether or not they should have a TTL, and then down the line creating a cleanup script to probably go and add TTL values to a lot of the existing keys.